Thoth was the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, knowledge, and writing. He was often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis or sometimes as a baboon, both sacred animals in Egyptian mythology. Born from the lips of Ra, or in other myths self-created from the heart of Ra, Thoth existed as a divine force of thought and speech. His name itself meant he who was like the ibis, reflecting the sacred bird that symbolized intelligence and learning. As a deity, he embodied not only the power of writing and record-keeping but also reason, logic, mathematics, and magic. In the heavenly realm, Thoth served as the divine scribe, recording the will of the gods and maintaining the balance of Mot, the principle of cosmic order and truth. He held the Book of Thoth, a mystical text said to contain powerful secrets of the universe and spells that could command the cosmos. Legends warned that mortals who read from this book would gain unimaginable wisdom but suffer great consequences for daring to wield divine knowledge. Thoth's presence was felt in temples and courts where priests invoked his name to ensure accuracy in rituals and fairness in justice. He was the patron of scribes who saw him as their divine guide, whispering sacred words to be recorded on papyrus scrolls. His festivals, celebrated in the first month of the Egyptian calendar, honored his role in bringing time and knowledge into the world. Among his many roles, Thoth acted as the mediator of disputes between gods. He played a critical role in the conflict between Horus and Seth over the throne of Osiris. When the gods grew weary of their endless battle, it was Thoth who reasoned with both sides, offering judgment that upheld fairness and harmony. His wisdom was such that even the powerful gods respected his decisions, trusting that his mind was free from emotion or ambition. One of Thoth's most revered roles was in the Hall of Mati, where the souls of the dead faced judgment. As the deceased stood before Osiris, Anubis, the jackal-headed guide, weighed the heart of the soul against the feather of Maat. If the heart was heavy with sin, the monstrous Ammit devoured it, ending the soul's journey. But if the scales balanced, the soul was allowed to enter the field of reeds, a paradise of peace. Throughout this solemn ceremony, Thoth stood to the side with scroll and reed pen in hand, recording every word, every action, and every outcome. In this way, he became the immortal witness to human fate, a recorder of justice and the eternal memory of the dead. His writings were not just records but divine inscriptions that shaped the moral order of both life and afterlife. With ink and quill, he preserved the truths of the cosmos, ensuring that no lie escaped divine judgment. Thoth was also said to have invented hieroglyphics, the sacred script of Egypt. According to myth, it was he who taught mankind how to write, how to count, how to calculate, and how to heal. His influence extended into astronomy and medicine, where his sacred numbers governed the rhythms of stars and the formulas of potions. Each spell, each diagram, and each calendar relied on his teachings, which flowed like the Nile through the minds of priests and scholars. In later periods, Thoth was merged with the Greek god Hermes, forming the composite deity Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary teacher of alchemy and esoteric wisdom. This fusion gave rise to Hermeticism, a mystical tradition that shaped later philosophies in Egypt, Greece, and beyond. Though the gods of Egypt faded from public worship, Thoth's legacy endured in secret scrolls, hidden libraries, and whispered rituals. To those who sought truth, he remained a beacon; to those who manipulated truth, he was the silent judge; and to those who recorded history, he was the unseen hand guiding their pens. As long as wisdom was valued and truth was sought, Thoth's spirit would endure among mankind's stories and symbols. Thoth's wife was the goddess Maat herself, or sometimes Seshet, the goddess of writing and measurement. With her, he shared the task of balancing the world, recording its cycles and ensuring the stars moved in their divine paths. Together they kept the divine library, where all destinies were inscribed and every secret waited to be unlocked. Even Ra, the sun god, relied on Thoth to speak his will and guide his solar bark through the underworld each night. In the darkest hours, Thoth stood at Ra's side, reading spells to ward off chaos and ensure the sun would rise again. It was Thoth who knew every word that shaped creation and every name that bound the gods. Thoth's wisdom was not limited to the heavens. He wandered the earth in disguise, testing mortals, rewarding those who spoke with truth and punishing those who hid deceit. Legends tell of kings who gained power through his guidance and tyrants who fell when they ignored his warnings. In the time of the first pharaohs, Thoth's temple in Hermopolis rose high with walls inscribed in gold and blue, bearing the words of the divine scribe. Priests there guarded scrolls of sacred texts that guided rituals, predicted omens, and connected the living with the dead. Though he ruled no city and commanded no army, Thoth's power was unmatched. Knowledge was his sword, truth his shield, memory his fortress. No light could endure under his gaze, no spell could function without his blessing, no history could live without his pen. In many funerary texts, Thoth appeared holding a reed pen and a scribe's palette, watching the weighing of hearts with calm precision. He did not interfere unless summoned by truth or misjudgment. In this he was a god of neutrality, of witness, and of eternal record. It was said that those who lived by truth and followed Ma'at could call upon Thoth to guide them through Duat, the underworld. His voice would speak the passwords that opened the gates, his scroll would bear their righteous deeds, and his pen would sign their entry into paradise. Even in the myth of Osiris, when the god was murdered and dismembered, it was Thoth who taught Isis the sacred words to revive him. His knowledge of resurrection magic made him a guardian of life beyond death. His spells bound the soul to the stars and gave hope to all who feared the void. No god in Egypt held such quiet authority. While others roared with thunder or struck with lightning, Thoth rode in silence with the power to reshape destiny itself. He did not demand worship, he inspired reverence. He did not punish loudly, he recorded truth and let the universe respond. In the temples of Thebes and the libraries of Alexandria, Thoth's name echoed in prayers and parchment. His influence stretched from the first inked glyph to the last word of prophecy. The ancients believed that time itself began when Thoth spoke and that it would end when his scrolls were full. Thus he was not just the god of writing but of all wisdom, of time, of balance, and of sacred order. In the cosmic balance he stood between chaos and harmony, ever ready to record the truth and speak the words that would restore the world.